Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another exciting episode of Bees Cast. And we're going to bring you a brand new franchise within this video podcast. It's called Bees Biz, where Ballers co-founders Paul Freedman and Bryan Carmel will stop by and chat with me regularly to talk about what it takes to build and operate the Oakland Ballers. You see, our ethos is building in public. We have over 3,000 fan owners now. We play in a public park, so we want to bring you behind the scenes in all the decisions and what it takes to run this franchise. But before we talk about the Ballers as we know them now, I thought it would be a good episode where we actually brought in somebody that knew Paul and Bryan from high school before they were the Ballers co-founders. Someone that could give us a little glimpse behind the scenes as to what makes these guys tick. So we brought in famous comedian, actress, podcaster, just all around hilarious person, Chelsea Peretti, who attended high school with Paul and Bryan, knows them very well, recently came on to the ownership group. Here she is, talking everything Bees Biz. It's the prequel right now. All right, this is the first ever edition of Bees Biz, where we talk with Paul Freedman and Bryan Carmel about how you build a baseball team and what it takes to create a franchise. And for this, we decided to bring in Chelsea Peretti, one of the owners of the Ballers now. And I could imagine this is probably one of the highlights of your entire career, right?
Well, I've always liked that feeling of just owning people, and to know that like these friends of mine that I own a piece of them, it's something that's what you aspire to, you know?
Yes, I like that. We might have to go with that going forward with the other owners too, like Too Short. But we have to talk about everything that led up to this point. But first,
Speaking
I
of
think
Too Short, I've been on 2 separate Southwest flights with Too Short.
Really?
Damn.
Really? Did he talk to you?
And one of the flights, E40, was also on it. And I thought, if this plane goes down, 3 Bay legends gone in an instant.
Who was the third?
I kind of love that to you, Paul. And I'm glad you did what you had.
I appreciate it. I was recently on a Southwest flight to Las Vegas with Marshawn Lynch. And I was like, Marshawn, and we like know a bunch of his cousins and stuff. And I was like, you know, Oakland Ballers. He was like, what? And I was like, the Oakland Ballers. He's like, uh-huh. It's like, all right, this conversation's over.
Since he couldn't hear you?
Yeah, I think he could hear me. I don't think he wanted to talk to me.
Since we're playing the Oakland Southwest Oakland Legends name game, yesterday I was on a Southwest flight to Oakland, and it was very early in the morning, and there was Boots Riley dressed up like Boots Riley. And I was like, I'm not going to bug him till we get on the flight, but then I'm definitely going to sit next to him because Southwest hasn't changed their thing yet. You can sit anywhere. And then
they have a starter seating policy.
You have to
sit next to whatever celebrity you want. By the way, I've also been on a flight to the Bay with Boots Riley. Who I know.
He wasn't coming to Oakland. I was like, I got all excited he was like going to Phoenix or wherever the other Burbank flight was going.
I haven't been on any flights with anybody interesting because I'm too poor.
Really?
I just drive. Yeah, no.
As
cool for me.
I was on a Southwest flight with Soul for Real R&B group. Don't expect you to know it.
Didn't know it.
But it was pretty big for me. I got an autograph on a little crusty piece of paper.
Sweet. Well, while we have you here, let's run through some important business decisions, and then we can talk all about how you got to know Paul and Bryan.
Okay.
I think we got to do this. All right, so like the Dodgers, they serve tiramisu in a helmet now at their ballparks. We need to come up with something to put in a helmet. If you could have like a ballpark food,
Carbonara.
what would you put? Habanera?
Carbonara, that'd be good.
Carbonara in a helmet.
A pesto.
Habanera in a helmet?
Yeah.
Do you have a recipe? Chelsea, I feel like you went deep into the cooking during the pandemic.
You know, I try to blot that entire time out. But yeah, I've always loved carbonara. I do have a recipe somewhere that I like, but I tend to just order it these days, you know?
We can legitimately put Chelsea Peretti's carbonara on our menu and serve it.
No, here's the thing.
We run this team so we can actually like do these things.
It has to be a good carbonara, and there's no way that's happening at a stadium environment because carbonara is like got to be right hot off the press. It's not creamy, which a lot of American Italian eateries are going to add cream to it, or peas, or all these, atrocities. It's not really stadium friendly. So let me rethink it. I mean, I always love a nacho.
Yeah.
Nachos.
We have decent nachos. They're gluten-free. They're one of our only gluten-free options.
What does that mean? Is it corn?
We have decent nachos. We have excellent nachos.
Well, we have good nachos. We have good nachos. They're great.
You like them a lot, Brian?
I mean, I eat them a lot. I go to the front and they do this thing where they'll slice some chicken tenders on it. It's like Fiesta style on the nachos. Yeah, that's a little pro tip.
And we are going to have a lot of things in helmets this year. Although to be honest, we're having some difficulties with the supply chains getting our helmets. So
Tariffs.
Well, that's
Tariffs have cost us.
Yeah.
It get worse. So. But anyway,
Is that your parents' house phone?
It is. I don't know how to disable it.
Don't answer it.
Casey, I don't know that we've been even, maybe we have. Who are you? You're an owner of the Ballers as well?
I am a communications person and a fan entertainment person. And before this, I was a TV anchor person. So I have like several full-time jobs that I do now with the Ballers. And
but you're
you are apparently
podcast.
Yeah. And you apparently own part of my soul as well now. So
wow, things are
so exciting.
Yeah.
So Casey, we've gone through the important stuff: Southwest airline flights, helmets.
We didn't figure out what we're going to put in the helmet, though.
Yeah, but we
have a food truck now. We could make a carbonara food truck.
Yeah, carbonara I think might be difficult, but Chelsea,
might be ambitious.
You come up with an item that's your recipe in a helmet. We'll serve it in a helmet. It'll be like.
What about ice cream sundae with hot fudge and roasted almonds, whipped cream?
Then call it Chelsea style?
Yeah.
All right.
Hot fudge sundae, but it has to be good fudge. It's got to have those roasted almonds. The other thing I really love is caramel apples.
Mm.
I guess you could put it in a helmet.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a little silly.
It would be unnecessary use of helmet.
Yeah.
I'm a big caramel apple fan. Have we talked about this before? Like, I'm a big caramel apple fan.
No, but I only like with the roasted almonds.
But it's kind of tough on your teeth, though, right? Like
I like the red candy apples.
Those are insane.
Those are terrible.
Really?
Not even food.
It's not food, but it's an investment. And like the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, you guys never had a red candy apple?
I like
the sound of it. I like the aesthetic is cool, but I can't imagine actually trying to bite that. And when I get the caramel apple, I get it sliced.
That is so
really high maintenance.
Paul doesn't even know about that.
You can do that? I would never even think that.
Yeah, that's common. That's like child's play, like a Rocky Mountain chocolate, whatever.
They take the stick out first.
What do you do with the stick?
The stick is gone. It's just like,
Then they put the stick back?
No, because it's slices.
But the whole point is the stick.
It's much harder to think about biting a sticky orb versus having perfect slices where you're.
What do you do?
The slices are much cleaner too. Like if you're stuck at a ballpark.
Do you slice your corn dogs?
Yeah. I'm not really a corn dog girl, but I'm sure that once in a while that could be a fun treat. But I'm more, if I'm gonna have a corn dog versus a hot dog, wouldn't you always choose a hot dog?
But the breading on the corn dog's pretty good. The stick, I don't know about, but
yeah, I don't like that.
Food on sticks, so I like sometimes choose the food on the stick. It's on a stick.
Hot dogs are kind of perfect though, that you can put like I know there's like the whole Chicago purism, but like I on a hot dog will take relish, mustard, and ketchup, and sauerkraut, and then I'll just bite through all of that.
Ketchup,
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm taking copious notes here for our concession stands right now. I saw you were at the Met Gala last night, Chelsea. Thank you for joining us.
In spirit. I had a little manic tear on Instagram with some inserting myself in some remixes. was a good time.
I wanted to take that though and see, is there anything you think we should do differently to the uniforms? Like the things that like anything Met Gala inspired, or at least Chelsea inspired, that we could do to just make the team a little bit more fashionable?
This would require a working knowledge of the existing uniforms.
You're not supposed to admit that, Chelsea.
Something I currently do not have. However, I do think that a little hoodie could be cool. Does anyone ever have a hood on a uniform?
That's a good idea.
In the dugouts, yeah.
That's
very
good. Yeah.
On a chilly July night.
Yeah, on a brisk morning or a cool evening, a little hoodie.
Into the uniform. I like it.
Yeah, I dig that too. Let's jump into this real quick. Like, how did you guys first meet? What were Paul and Bryan like? Just give us a quick breakdown, because we got to tell the story, like the prequel to the actual building of the Ballers.
Well, we went to school together. I actually almost wore my CPS jersey because I found it in a box that my mom kept in her garage for like 85 years. But then I thought, it's ugly. So I didn't, but we all went to CPS, a little Swiss chalet looking school in the Oakland, North Oakland area. I don't really remember precisely like how we met, aside from just that we all went there. Do you guys?
Not the day that we met, but we were just like in the same friend circle. Chelsea instantly liked me. She was the first time she met. We were best friends. Been best friends ever since.
Paul was best friends with my boyfriend, now dead. And Bryan I feel like, I don't know.
Bryan was there too. Bryan was the president of our high school class. So
I was going to say, that was in my, I looked that up. Bryan, you were class president? How did you achieve such an honor?
I did. It was a fiercely contested election. Nobody else ran, but I think it was because once I announced that I was going to be on the ballot, just a lot of voter intimidation, and people, the other candidates got scared. But that was senior year. Chelsea, I was in your play senior year that you and Catherine
You were?
Yes.
What were you? I don't remember. That's
You're
crazy.
It was like a feminist sketch homage type of thing.
Yeah, we wrote for an independent credit. We wrote a play, me and two of my friends, and I didn't realize what do you remember what you were doing in it?
I remember the one scene that sticks out is that 9 Inch Nails song, the famous 9 Inch Nails song, I wanna like an animal.
Oh yeah.
There was like a really weird, we were like wearing like hoodies, and we were like, you were like like in the middle of there was like a light on you, and you were like in a fetal position. We were supposed to seem like we were.
Really? That's horrible.
It was horrible.
Horrible.
What was this play called? Do you remember?
God, what was it called? Don't remember right. Oh, In the Dark. It's called In the Dark. I want to just say, and I want to clarify this because Bryan's like feminist and talking about being beaten. Maybe that's what was impressed upon him. For me, it was a lot of comedy in this play. There was a lot of comedy, and sure, there's that high school kind of whatever. But I think that let's remember it as a comedic play.
It was mostly a comedic play.
Comedic.
Yeah, it's good to hear though.
It's referencing that I literally didn't remember existed, but it's cool to have that resurface.
Yeah, I'm glad Bryan's role was so memorable. Like, his performance was very memorable.
I guess I'm like, yeah, I don't remember how I knew Bryan. Oh yeah, I made him beat me on stage in a feminist manifesto, I guess, apparently.
It's a repressed memory now. You mentioned Bobby, your boyfriend, who has since passed away, but he is who the Ballers are named off of, like in tribute to Bobby Winslow. And so I just wanted to get your take too, like on hearing about that, hearing the tribute, and what your first impressions were of them doing that.
This is my first impression right now. Sounds cool. Listen, Bobby and Paul were like Lucille Ball and Ethel Merman. The two of them always cutting up and just an inseparable duo. And, hey, Lucille Baller. Maybe there's something to that.
There. Put that in a helmet.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, they were besties, and I think Paul's done a great job of honoring him onward and onward through decades of time. I actually still have a feather that from a dove we released at Bobby's funeral, framed in my kitchen. So I guess we all remember Bobby in our own way. He was a very special person.
Do you remember that you and I were talking about keeping the doves at the funeral? Yeah, we were going to keep ours and see if we can get away with it.
How would you pull that off exactly?
Well, we weren't going to get in trouble.
I don't think we had a plan if that was coming up. Yeah.
When you heard though that these friends from CPS, like they built a baseball team out of thin air, I mean, what were your thoughts? I mean, did you think you were being pranked? Like, what were your initial reactions to that?
You know, it's like Paul's always got some sort of con going on, and I thought, no, here's the truth. I felt like the A's leaving Oakland is insane. That's like peanut butter leaving PB&J. What are we doing here? A's were like a quintessential Oakland thing growing up. It was part of the visual landscape. It was part of the culture. So the A's leaving is so weird. And I thought, oh, that's cool. They're creating an alternative for people.
Do you remember when we came into your house and told you about it?
No.
Before we launched it?
Is this a memory?
Oh, horrible memory.
Is this a memory test or is this the podcast?
It's a flashback. We're going to talk about the building blocks of how we got to this point, so then we can go through the rest of it.
Being friends with Chelsea is kind of like being friends with a person from Memento, to be honest. Do you remember when this happened? They're like, no.
You were in my play?
I mean, to be fair, this is like 25 years ago.
Well, the play was 25 years ago.
The play was largely me and two of my girlfriends.
That's true.
I would say Bryan was what you would call an extra. No, I believe
I had lines. Extras don't have lines.
Sounds like you were just beating a crumpled up woman. It doesn't sound like lines.
That's just the only scene I remember.
I'm sure. I mean, that is so traumatic to make a high school boy abuse you on stage. I'm sure you remember. I don't. I blotted that out. I was like, it was a funny play. Anyway, yeah, I don't remember much of how things unfold. It's not my strength. I remember more like personalities, broad strokes, you know. I recently have self-diagnosed myself as having ADHD from memes, and I think that might be part of also what's going on here.
It could be. Well, let's just dive in then. Like, what was Paul's personality? Like, give me a full breakdown of Paul as a person.
We made fun of Paul a lot. We made fun of each other a lot, all of our group of friends. It was like I had a 1-2 punch of going to Claremont Junior High, where everyone was just constantly savaging each other, and then going to CPS and hanging out with all these guys where we just constantly were like, that wasn't funny, or attacking each other. We had a friend that farted in the library. We made a lot of jokes about that. You know, like it was good practice for, you know, comedy.
Yeah. There was a song about me. We're not going to sing it, but there's a song.
Articulate Paul. He's so articulate. Okay, see, I remember that.
There you go. That one's
I didn't remember until you said there was a song.
Yeah, our French group was definitely about making jokes about each other. And you had to come ready. Like, you couldn't be like tired. You couldn't be hungover. You had to be like ready.
We literally were hungover all the time. Our class was a big drinking class. And that was, now as a parent, I go, wow, you were just getting absolutely wasted freshman year on. Crazy.
What about Bryan? What's Bryan's personality breakdown? Broad strokes.
Bryan was from Lafayette. He was funny. Bryan was funny. I don't know. I don't really remember that much.
It's really depressing.
We don't have a song for Bryan, you know? It's like
we can make one up right now.
I'm good.
But
Chelsea, you went to college together too. Do you remember that?
you went to Barnard, a women's college called Barnard University.
I was
I'm
basically
in Columbia, not with their capitulating that they're doing these days.
fair
No.
enough.
No, I do know that, I think that I honestly probably got to know Bryan better later in our lives because he went more into entertainment and all that. But I think at CPS, like we had a large peer group in which there wasn't a ton of intimacy, at least with me and many of the members. So
It sounds like humor in a lot of ways brought you guys together. It also sounds like in a lot of ways, especially with Paul and Bryan,
we all start crying. Humor brought us together, but in a way it was like a huge barrier to intimacy. And my closest friend, well, he's not on here, Salvador. Shout out to Salvador. And
by the way, he's the one who farted in the library, just to be clear.
don't say that.
Don't say his last name.
I wasn't gonna say
Or
his
address.
Man. Anyway, so it's like, what are we gonna do? Create a false narrative about our friendships in high school? I'm sweating. This podcast is.
we're just grilling you at this point. All right, let's do this.
Do you know one of my proudest moments in my career is being a semi-professional joke writer for Chelsea?
Paul did advise me on the Crunchies when I hosted the Crunchies twice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote some jokes there. I gave you 10 or so that were pretty good. You used 3, including the opening. I was so proud.
Whoa.
I was so proud.
What was the comp like?
Chelsea offered to pay. She actually did offer to pay me. And I was like, it's fine. Yeah, you did. You're like,
That's good. Yeah, it's good to have someone who knows the world of tech when you're hosting a show about tech people.
and I clearly do. I mean, look.
Look at
Yeah,
you.
he's got a whole server deck.
A lot of those wires look really messed up.
Yeah.
You're not faking the funk here. You're really
Really do.
ensconced in tech.
How many of those did you actually plug in?
These? Not
Yeah.
one.
Not one.
I couldn't even
Exactly.
figure out how to put my name on this thing coming into the Zoom.
Let's talk about this then. Possums. Our mascot is a possum, Chelsea.
Really?
What do you think of possums overall?
Really? Remember that? I I actually, one of the makeup artists on Brooklyn Nine-Nine was a possum rehabilitator. And so she sort of affected my POV on possums. She really thought they were cute and sweet. And so one time after that show ended, I had a small baby possum running around in my backyard, lost and confused. And I reached out to her and she said, this one's big enough to survive on its own. So I did nothing. To this day, I think that was probably killed by a hawk or coyote.
Well,
So anyway.
Chelsea, we think of ourselves as possum rehabilitators as well, because
Okay.
Scrappy, the rally possum, his origin story was actually at the Oakland Coliseum. He was first discovered running around there, and it became
Really?
a viral sports story
Oh,
because it was like they're not taking care of the stadium. There was possums running around, in the press box, and so he made his way across town to West Oakland to Ramondi Park, and now he's our mascot.
now how does he do at a park in West Oakland?
He's doing great. He's beloved.
He's beloved.
Oh, he's in
Multiple
a
people
cage?
have tattoos of Scrappy.
Oh, he started out as a real possum, and he's had a transformation, and he's now
A mascot.
looks more like a traditional mascot. He had a metamorphosis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I applaud that you don't have a horribly racist trope as your mascot. I think
Thank
that's
you.
a step in the right.
Something right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. We wanted to rehabilitate the possum, and the possum people said he's big enough, just leave him alone. And then now he's like half human, half possum. It's pretty cool. We love him. What do we have to do, Chelsea, to get you to come to a Ballers game this season? What's like the barrier for entry here?
When I became a part owner in this, I didn't realize how much was going to be asked of me. I honestly,
What been asked of you?
for someone who truly does not like baseball, this has become quite involved. No, I don't know what it would take, because I guess what it really would take is that carbonara.
Yeah,
Carbonara.
in a helmet.
No, I guess it would really just be like all our friends were going and maybe there was some good food. But the thing about baseball is it's such a long game. Maybe can you make a version of the game that's a little sped up, like cut some corners, shave some time, and make a 1 hour baseball game?
That's a little tight, but
how long is a typical game?
Let's call it
2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh,
plus a few more minutes, but they're really fun. Our games are really fun. And they're
You
not
don't
like
even have to watch the game.
they're not like
is there any kind of cheerleaders?
there are people with drums and flags and singing songs and dancing.
And a possum.
Is there a halftime show?
There's like 7 to 9 halftime shows. 8 probably. It's the halftime
Really?
show.
Chelsea, a baseball game is 9 innings, and in between each half inning, there's a 2.5 minute
I don't like this
programming
tone.
block.
I don't like this tone.
So there's entertainment in between the innings.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll hang up right now. There's nothing in this for me.
The vibe here though is more like 48 block parties around a baseball field. Like we're doing Too Short's gonna shoot a music video at the game. Like
I'll
we
be
have
the one that Too Short's shooting that music video at.
Great, that's May 22nd.
May 22nd. Thursday, May 22nd. And now
My own buddy.
Casey Pratt will be there giving autographs.
Yeah, no. He never said giving autographs. He said attend a game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're already piling more demands on. I think
know
this.
it just keeps going. It keeps going. It's like a little list, and then it's like scroll a drop down menu. So.
Would you like to travel with the team on the road? Just in August?
Can I be the Possum mascot? Can I be?
Yeah,
We're talking.
100%. You can
Yeah.
do that. Yes.
I would love to get that level of involvement going. All right. Scared.
We got that. Carbonara in a helmet. You get to be the mascot, and we'll make the game 1 hour.
That's
Those,
great.
those,
That works.
those are your conditions. And then you'll
Yeah.
Helmet, 1 hour speed game. All my friends are in attendance, and Too Short is there. Fine.
That's it? That's all we have to pull off?
Yeah.
I think we could do that.
I look forward to the day. Here's the other stipulation. Carbonara has to be the traditional Roman carbonara. No cream, no peas. Piping hot. Black pepper, pancetta, and egg.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So not industrially cooked in a vat. You want like a bespoke,
Yeah.
individual, artisanal.
We'll get you in touch with the person who runs food and beverage for us. We're really gonna work our thing. Like it's gonna be Chelsea's carbonara. We're gonna make it happen.
What is pancetta exactly?
Pork.
Pork?
Some kind of piece of pork. It's like akin to bacon. You can make carbonara with bacon, but Italians would spit in your face. But
It's a fancy word for bacon. Is what it
Yeah.
is.
Wonderful. All right. I think we should end Chelsea's involvement here. What do you think, Chelsea?
Yes.
Yes?
I agree with that. All right. Well, listen, thanks so much for having me, KIT. And Casey, are you in your son's room or something?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I have 2 daughters. This is my own little dorky space for
This
videos.
is your room. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
I've been
that's my
holding on to
bedroom.
that and I had to get it out.
Now that
You
you've
need to
been
just
it's enough.
get out of the way so you can see more. Yeah.
No barking. Don't do it. All right. Well, a pleasure doing business. Congrats on the Ballers. Way to honor Bobby. Great to see 2 of my greatest friends again. And Casey, such a pleasure to meet you. This is my big Hollywood wind up for the ending. Go Oakland, go Bay, and go Ballers.
And that's the end.
Thanks, Chelsea.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. That's
Thank you, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Hey, Bees Biz listeners, there's a couple of editorial mistakes that we made in the episode that we just recorded with Chelsea Peretti, and I just want to clarify them just to set the record straight. I know you might have heard Paul say that our nachos were so-so. That's just not the case. Our nachos are delicious. Like, we get that feedback. We've held questionnaires about our concessions after the season. Everybody's like, your nachos are delicious. I love your nachos. So
Sure, I said decent, but that is not. That's still wrong. Needs to be clarified. Our nachos are tremendous.
our nachos are tremendous. Also, Chelsea Peretti, she's a comedian. She was like playing the part of not knowing everything about the Ballers. The truth is that she has studied our roster construction almost religiously. She's involved in baseball decisions. She's involved in business decisions. She's curated the show that we put on at Raimondi Park. She's deeply involved in everything from literally facilities decisions to who's doing security to where you can park. And, she helped set the cost of tickets this season. Chelsea is intimately involved in every aspect of the Ballers organization. And she was just, as comedians do, playing the part of somebody who was disinterested.
That's all a lie.
What's a lie? What is a lie?
I like that after that entire 20 plus minute whatever we did, the nachos was the thing that stuck out to you, not the other stuff about someone farting in the library or any of the other things.
Salvador.
We love you, Salvador.
Love you, Salvador. We're not saying your last name.
That was the first episode of Bees Biz. It's going to be insanely hard to top that, but we will try. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on all of our social media platforms. We are going to keep doing this, and maybe we won't be doing it with celebrities, but we'll figure out some other fun stuff. Yeah?
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.